Let's take a few minutes and talk about love, the way the world defines love as opposed to what the Bible defines love as. Now, Webster's dictionary defines three types of love: the love between parent and child, the love between such as a husband and wife, and then the love of that's within friendship. Now, love is, or it occurs 686 times throughout the Bible. 425 of those are in the New Testament, while the other 261 occur in the New Testament. Now, C.S. Lewis broke it down in his book, The Four Loves. The Four Loves. Storge, which is a family love, such as parent, child, brother, sister, what have you. All right, then you have Philos, which is the love between friends, such as David and Jonathan in the Old Testament, or between Jesus and his disciples in the New Testament. Now, Jesus had hundreds of disciples, 12 of which he was closest with. And then there were 3 that he was intently close with. And out of those 3, the closest was John. So those would also fall under Philos. Now, Eros is defined in his book as a physical romantic love, such as between husband and wife. And then the fourth was agape love, which is a selfless, unconditional love. Now, in John 15 and 13, it says, "Greater love has no one than this, that someone laid down his life for his friends." Now, that's exactly what Jesus did when he came into this world and what he did at the cross. He laid down his very life for each and every one of us, and that alone would fall under agape love, as it was selfless. It was self-sacrificing for someone else. And it would also show God's love for us. In John 3 and 16, "For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life." So him sending his Son was also a selfless love, an agape love. And both of those was self-sacrificing. God giving his only Son, and then Jesus giving his very life for us. And Jesus emphatically proclaimed love as the most important command to obey. In Mark chapter 12, verses 31 and 30, or 30 and 31, says, "And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind, and with all your strength. The second is this: you shall love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other commandment greater than these." So he emphatically proclaimed that love was and still is the greatest commandment that we as Christians should follow. And it talks about love several different times. Even love for enemies, that we should love our enemies and pray for those that persecute us. So he proclaimed that love was the greatest of these commandments. Now, the worldly definition of love is an affectionate feeling toward another person. The problem with that is that feelings are fickle. They pass. They're limited. Our love like that is a limited love. It is not like the agape love that God and Jesus have toward each and every one of us. Now, the biblical definition of love is a sacrificial, a love that gives and expects nothing in return. C.S. Lewis wrote that love is not an affectionate feeling, but a steady wish for someone's ultimate good. We wished well for someone. And we as Christians should model ourselves after Christ, because Christ was love and he came from God, which is love. So by his very character, God is love, and to know him is to extend his love to those around us. However, we have to also be careful to walk in truth, acknowledging that Jesus Christ is the righteous propitiation for sin, and not just for us, but for the entire world. And in John 13 and verse 35, it says, "By this all people will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another." So we should model our lives after Christ, being in the love that he had for us, which was an agape, which was a self-sacrificing love, because he sacrificed his very life to give us an eternal life. So we have to ask ourselves, does that type of love, the love that God and Christ have for each of us, does that love dwell within us? And do we have that love for our fellow man, for anyone around us, including our enemies? Because according to the Bible, those are the two greatest commandments: love God and love your neighbors. So does that love dwell within you?